question involves function and the line, okay? So basically we have data wave network, which has the function, data wave function has the function dy equals 3x, or dx equals 3x. X is the input, 3x is the output. So a classic example, I suppose, would be if I put in an input of 500. So if I did input of 500, the output would be 3 multiplied by 500, and 3 multiplied by 500 is 1500. So that would be the point 500, 1500. Okay, and we can put that point on our graph. We can move it up here. There's 500, 1500. Okay, and then another, all we need is 2 points on your graph, and you can draw the line for this. Okay, and another one you could do is you could do an input of 0, so x equals 0, and 3 times 0 is 0. So your input is 0, your output is 0, and that'll be this point here, 0, 0. And what you have here is your line for, you have your line for your function. Now please remember what we spoke about earlier, that you can also use like sorry, one sec, my computer isn't lagging on me. So you could also use it's like y equals mx plus c. This is basically your y value, x plus c. It has a slope of 3 and a c value of 0. That's why it crosses at 0, 0. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to net plus. The net plus one is nx equals 600 plus x. Now, if we do an input of 0, so we do n of 0, input is 0, we get an output of 600 because we have to replace x with 0. So the answer would be 600, which is the point 0, 600. And it's hard. Okay, so the next one is 0, 600 is hard to draw because you don't really know where 600 is on the graph due to the scaling. So what we might do is we might try and find something that's a bit easier to draw. So example would be like something like look along the axis here, and we could try and find something easier. See the number 1000 as an example. 600 plus 400 is 1000. So if we use an input of 400 instead, like this, so replace the x value with 400, and we get 600 plus 400. That might be an easier one to draw. That means when your input is 400, your output is 1000. So that'll be the point 400 and 1000, which I'll do in a slightly different color. I'll do red. There it is, there. Okay. And then if I try and pick one more value, maybe even 2000. So 600 plus, trying to see now. Okay, so I'll rub this out. We got one red point, and the other red point is about 0, 600, about here. That's the one we got earlier. And what we can do is we can draw a red line to represent, we can sort of draw a red line to represent the second mobile company. And there you go. We can see that there. They're both red around here. Okay, so the first question you're going to be asked is to draw the total cost for both companies, and we're just after doing that. Okay, the second thing we're going to be asked is using the graph, estimate the total number of megabytes of data for which both companies cost the same. Well, they both cost the same at about 300 megabytes. Now, what you could do is you could put dx equal to nx. The output, the cost of dx equals the cost of nx, and you could put the two solutions equal to each other algebraically. You can move it over to your side and you get 2x equals 600, and then x equals 300, which is the same answer as what we got in our graph. Okay, and in part C, if a person uses 500 megabytes of data in a month, which company offers the better value? Well, for 500 megabytes of data, what we can see is that the red company is cheaper than the black company. So we'll definitely go with the red company, which is Net Plus. Net Plus is cheaper. Using the graph, Net Plus is cheaper because what number is it roughly around? It's roughly about 1,000, just above 1,000 versus 1,500. Costs just over €1,000 compared to Net Plus being closer to 1,500. Okay, guys, so just make sure you can do sort of this type of function. You're just trying to find 2 points on your line and then you join the 2 points together. Okay, any 2 points you can get on the line using an input and an output, and then get yourself 2 couples which are 2 points and you just join them together and you get your answer there.